I am Rithiyatri, you're watching TimesXP. Now recently, Canada has introduced strict new immigration policies that are impacting thousands of immigrants. Specifically, here we are talking about the Indian students who make a significant portion of the foreign population in the country. Now, these policies have led to the cancellation of visas and deportation of many individuals, sparking a wave of concern and protest from the Indian community in Canada. Now, Indian students who have long seen Canada as a land of opportunity now face an uncertain future, and that's due to these uncertain changes. Canada, like many developed countries, has been top destination for international students, particularly from India, as we spoke before. And for years, Indian students have flocked to Canadian universities, drawn by promises of quality education, job opportunity, and potential pathway to permanent residency. But things have changed now. With the new immigration curbs in place, this dream is at risk. Now, one of the biggest changes affecting the Indian students is the tightening of rules around the work permits and permanent residency application. Previously, international students had a relatively clear path to obtaining work permits after completing their studies, which allowed them to gain valuable experience and eventually apply for permanent residency. But again, under the new policies, obtaining these permits have become much more difficult, and many fear that they may be forced to leave the country once their studies are over. Now, the Canadian government, on the other hand, that is led by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, introduced these changes in response to an overpopulation crisis that has put immense pressure on the public services like healthcare and housing. Now, recent data shows that immigration has been a major contributor to the population boom, leading to an overcrowded city, rising housing costs, and long wait times for medical care. Now, in an attempt to address these specific issues, the government has decided to limit the number of new immigrants entering the country. Now, which has left many students, here we are specifically talking about Indians, in a really tough spot. Now, for Indian students, this policy change is particularly devastating. Many of them take out large loans to fund their education abroad, hoping to secure jobs in Canada after their graduation just to pay off their debts. Now, if they are forced to return to India immediately after completing their studies without the chance to work and earn in that particular country, they will be left with the financial burdens. Now, the prospects of being deported with no opportunity to work in Canada is causing immense stress and anxiety among these students. As a result, Indian students in Canada are now speaking out. They are demanding that government to reconsider its stance and provide some relief to those who are already studying in the country. They are also asking for assurance that current students won't be affected by these new rules and that pathways to the permanent residency remains open. Now, many argue that they came to Canada with the understanding that they would have a fair shot at building a future there, and they feel that it is unjust to change the policy halfway through their journey. Now, this situation has sparked protests across Canadian campuses, with students calling for fair treatment and clearer policies. The students believe that government should take into account their contribution to the Canadian economy, especially through institution fee and skilled labor that they provide upon graduation. They argued that they are an important part of Canadian workforce, specifically in sectors like technology and healthcare, where there is the need for qualified professionals. Now, the uncertainty surrounding these new immigration policy have caused widespread concern, not just for students, but also for Indian families who had pinned their hopes on their children building successful lives in Canada. Now, for many, the dream of studying and settling abroad now hangs in balance, and the financial strain on the student loans make the situation even more urgent. Now, in the light of these challenges, the Indian Student Committee in Canada is urging that government should find a middle ground for addressing the country's immigration concern while also protecting the future of those who are already studying there. They hope that by raising their voices, they can push the government to create more flexible policy that allows them to stay, work, and eventually become permanent resident, rather than being forced to return to India with heavy debt and shattered dreams. As the situation continues to unfold, the fate of thousands of Indian students in Canada remains uncertain, but their fight for a fair chance in the country they chose as their second home is far from over. For more such videos, do follow TimesXP.